We're constantly being told how we should invest our money, right? But have you ever stopped and wondered what the experts, the actual people giving all that advice, do with their own cash? Well, that's exactly what we're going to do today. We're pulling back the curtain thanks to some incredible insights from the book, How I Invest My Money, to see how the pros really handled their finances.
Okay, so let's just dive right in. And let's be real for a second. We've all felt this. The world of personal finance is it's flooded with advice. And honestly, it can get incredibly confusing really fast.
I mean, from the moment we start earning money, it feels like there are all these rules, these standard procedures and correct formulas that we're all just supposed to know and follow. It creates this immense pressure, this feeling that we have to find that one single perfect strategy out there.
But here's the big problem, right? The rules, they often completely contradict each other. One expert is screaming, maximize your returns at all costs, while another is calmly saying, no, prioritize slow and steady growth. So it leaves most of us just kind of scratching our heads, wondering, okay, which path is actually the right one?
So it's this exact confusion that the book, How I Invest My Money by Joshua Brown and Brian Portnoy decided to just cut right through. And they did it by starting with a question that is so simple, but at the same time, totally profound.
Yeah, that's it. That's the whole idea. Instead of adding another set of complicated rules to the pile, they just went straight to the source. They asked the very people who give out financial advice for a living one super simple question. How do you invest your own money? So they gathered these really personal stories from 25 different experts. We're talking fund managers, seasoned financial advisors, successful entrepreneurs, the whole shebang. And the collective answer they found from all these pros? Well, it was surprisingly simple.
And just like that, probably the biggest myth in all of personal finance was completely busted. It turns out there is no secret universal formula. Not a single one of those 25 experts followed the exact same strategy. So that idea of a one-size-fits-all correct answer, it just doesn't exist, not even for the pros. And honestly, that should be incredibly liberating news for all of us.
So instead of some complex algorithm that they were all secretly using, what we actually find is this huge variety of deeply personal strategies. I mean, they were reflections of their individual lives, their unique values, their specific goals. For some people, yeah, a super high savings rate was everything. But for others, it was all about having the flexibility and freedom to choose their own path, or even just investing in themselves, their health, their skill.
So if they weren't all following some secret financial formula, what did they have in common? Well, it turns out the principles that actually united them were way more human than they were financial. It was less about the numbers on a screen and a whole lot more about, well, life.
This one idea kept popping up over and over again. So many of these experts basically said their main goal wasn't to squeeze every last penny out of the market. Nope, it was to build a financial plan that just gave them peace of mind, something that lets you sleep soundly at night without stressing about every little market swing.
And this really gets to the heart of the whole thing. For so many of them, success wasn't about beating the S&P 500. It was about using their money as a tool to build a truly fulfilling life, one that's full of memorable experiences.
So when you really peel back all the layers of their financial lives, you find that the most important investments for these experts weren't always stocks or bonds. Not at all. They were investing in the core pillars of a good life. Things like security for their family, the freedom to choose their own path, and maybe most importantly, investing in themselves.
Okay, so what does all this mean for us, for our own lives? Well, this whole approach is really about shifting our mindset. It's about encouraging us to stop asking what's the best stock to buy, and to start asking much better, more fundamental questions. And starting with this question, man, it's a total game changer. It forces you to actually define the purpose behind your money. What's it for? Are you investing for retirement way down the line? A down payment on a house? Are you shooting for financial independence? The why absolutely has to come before the what.
And then you can go even deeper. What are your most important goals in life? I mean, really, is it about freedom from a job you don't love? Is it about providing absolute security for your family no matter what? Or is it about having the ability to travel and really see the world? Whatever it is, that's what your financial plan should be built to serve.
And all of this leads us to the final and maybe the most important question of all. The ultimate takeaway from every single one of these experts is this. The goal isn't just to build a portfolio. The real goal is to build a life.